Hi there, I'm Davey Cretin. This is Cretin Classics, and welcome to another show in my series of Top 12 Tunes. Tonight, I have a very special guest, a friend of mine who I've known for a long time, and we bonded over music many, many years ago. Please welcome to the show, her first appearance, Miss Jenny Payne.
Hi.
Hi, Jenny. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining me. Now, I do want to start with something serious. Unfortunately, we were supposed to be joined by another friend of ours named Katinka. Unfortunately, she's down south in Florida, and her area was hit by two hurricanes recently, unfortunately. Now, she and her husband and her cats, they're all okay, but she's had
Mhm.
no power for a week, so she can't join us. So I just want to remind everyone out there in America that you should go and research and find a legitimate charity and donate, even if it's only a few dollars. You should donate to help your fellow Americans down south because Florida and the Gulf Coast states, they need a lot of help. People passed away, people have lost their homes, possessions, probably unfortunately some pets too, which is very sad. The whole thing is sad. So please help out your fellow Americans. So I just wanted to say that we're dedicating the show to our friend Katinka, and she'll join us next time because Jenny's definitely going to be back, and Katinka will be joining us in the future because we're going to be doing more content with hard rock and heavy metal bands. So here today we're doing our top 12 tunes by the great Dream Theater, one of my favorite bands. Been a fan of theirs since their first album in 1989. But more on that later. So I'm going to have my guest, the lovely Jenny, start off by giving us her number 12 and number 11 out of her top 12 tunes. So Jenny, take it away. What's your number 12 favorite Dream Theater song?
Oh boy. See, you like to do these weird things to me. I actually picked Stargazer, the cover, 'cause I think they do a phenomenal job with it. It's hard to emulate Dio. It's hard, and they nailed it. Absolutely 100% nailed it.
Now that's a good left field choice. I did not see that one coming. I like a lot of those covers, and they do great covers. I've seen
I
them do covers
do.
live and on their bonus discs, they do covers here and there, but that's a good choice. Very out of the box. I like that.
Okay. And then I pretty much have like two favorite albums, so it's gonna be mostly off that.
Cool.
And then I have Endless Sacrifice. That was one of the first ones I saw that clicked in when I saw them play that at Jones Beach. And I'm like, okay, it's powerful, it's beautiful, so it had to be put on my list.
And it's a heavy song. The riff in there,
Very, very
Petrucci's riff,
heavy.
that was on my larger list, but it's not on my list. So far you have two that I do not have.
Ah, look at that.
Okay, my number 12 is also a little bit of an odd choice, and I don't think a lot of people would have this in their top 12 songs by Dream Theater. This is a song that is 6 minutes and 57 seconds long, comes from 2011, the album release 9/12/2011. It's from the first album without Mike Portnoy. So Mike
Mhm.
Mangini is on drums on this song, and it's a beautiful ballad called This Is the Life. And the melody in this song is so
Yeah.
amazing. It's so melodic. And to me, the song is a showcase for vocalist James LaBrie. And he just really shines on this song, on the lead vocals, on the backing vocals, when they double his vocals, when he's singing in a like a mid-level range, and then he's singing like a high harmony above that. And this song is just amazing. I like Jordan Rudess's strong keyboard playing here on electric piano and especially synthesizer. You get some really cool synth sounds here. It's very catchy. And needless to say, but I'm going to say it anyway, John Petrucci, he unleashes a sterling, soaring, and stirring guitar solo here. And he has some hooky playing throughout the song as well. And when I saw them live, Mike Mangini has some nice tom work on the drums. And when you saw them live, he has his tom rack set up above his kit. So I remember, I think it was the Beacon Theater. I saw them on the A Dramatic Turn of Events tour. And he had his drums set up and the toms were above him. So every time he went to play them, it added a nice visual element to it. And most drummers like Portnoy and everyone else, they keep their toms in front of them. But when he played them above, I thought it was very cool. So that added a nice visual aid to the song. And this song just gets me in the feels. And the lyrics are by Petrucci, and the music is by Petrucci and Rudess. So that's my number 12. This is The Life from A Dramatic Turn of Events. My number 11 has to do with a band that you love, Jenny. This is one of your favorite bands.
Yes.
This song is from Train of Thought from that album from 2003. It is the first track, and it was an emphasis track that went out to rock radio, 7 minutes, 47 seconds long. And it has the lyrics, and I'm going to quote these. So, to those who understand, I extend my hand. To the doubtful, I demand, take me as I am. And this song Petrucci wrote, he wrote the lyrics, and the four guys in the band wrote the music. They were on tour with Queensryche, and I'm sure you saw that tour at Jones Beach. I saw
I
that tour
was
at Jones
there.
Beach. And Mike Stone, one of the guitar players in Queensryche, was giving John Petrucci some guitar tips. And John Petrucci is known as one of the preeminent guitar players on the planet.
I heard that
What?
story.
And Portnoy thought it was really odd, and it pissed Petrucci off that this guy's telling him, well, the way music is now, you should play the song this way, and this is what you should be doing, and that to fit in with the modern bands. And this was Petrucci's answer to Mike Stone from Queensryche. You could do what you want, but take me as I am. This is how I play. This is my style, and I'm not changing to fit
Nice.
into your style. So that's
Yes.
what this song is all about. And I love the way it starts off with this eerie, slow build. And then Petrucci has that guitar maestro prowess. It leads into that heavy main riff. And I always thought when this song first came out that it was his big FU to record labels. But then I heard this other story that it's about his problem with Mike Stone trying to give him some tips on how to play in the modern world. So that's what the song is about.
Yeah.
From their summer tour with Queensryche at Jones Beach, and you and I saw that show there.
Yep.
Where was I in my notes here? Sorry. I love the way that Labrie spits out Petrucci's lyrics. He just embodies the anger that Petrucci was feeling about this particular incident. Sorry. And I love I love Portnoy's stellar drum fills on this song, and Petrucci has just a dizzying, spiraling solo on this song. So that's my number 11, As I Am, and my number 12 was This Is the Life. Are you ready for your number 10?
Once I finish swallowing my ice cream.
Okay.
Okay. I have Burning My Soul on there because it builds up fast and it's very hard hitting. Like, yes, good. So that's why I have that on there too. I like that song a lot.
That was also on my larger list, Burning My Soul. I happen to like Falling Into Infinity a lot, that album, and a lot of Dream Theater fans just think it's too commercial. And it's really only the one song that they made Petrucci co-write with Desmond Child, of all people, who's famous for writing with Bon Jovi and writing for other bands, Aerosmith, et cetera, et cetera. There's only one really commercial track, and the original version Petrucci did of that song is much better than the version that he did with Desmond Child. But yeah, that's a good choice.
I didn't know that. See, okay, I'm learning stuff.
Nice.
I like learning stuff.
And what's your number 9?
I have, well, this is out of order. I have Surrounded because there's actually an interesting story behind it. They played that I'm in Huntington, Long Island, so they always played Paramount, which is like down the street from me. And they were doing this tour. It was Awake and I forgot and whatever album that's on. And
Falling Into Infinity.
Thank you. And they
actually no, Surrounded. No, it's on Images and Words. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's right. I have the cover wrong. But I was on like a balcony thing, still had a seat, and you know how you do security, and the bouncers are like, don't stand on the railing, don't stand on the railing. So I pulled the guy over. I was like, look, there's going to be one song I would like to stand to the railing and record. It's for my extremely pregnant friend. So please let me do that. I will go right back to my seat. I promise. And I did, and I recorded it. He just kind of looked at me. But
nice.
You know what? You got to do what you got to. I mean, who's going to mess with that? I'm like, yeah, I pulled that out of my pocket because I wanted to record the song.
And it's good he let you do it.
Yeah, it's good that he let me because I did exactly what I was gonna do. I recorded the song and then I sat down. I made sure I wasn't, haha. I made sure I was not in anybody's way. So, yep, and we have a guest.
The cat
Hi,
sighting.
Glenn.
That's a beautiful cat. What's your cat's name?
This is Garland.
Hi,
He's
Garland.
a fluffy little orange cat.
Yeah, beautiful orange tabby cat
Say hi.
with some white underneath. Hello.
Glenn.
Thank you for coming on the show, Garland.
He'll just sit and watch me because he's definitely my
That's funny. I didn't expect that.
cat.
Surrounded, Your Choice is a great song from Images and Words, as I corrected myself. And it was on my larger list. It just didn't make the cut, unfortunately. So I'm glad you brought it up. Moving on to my number 10, I would say this is another deep track from 2002, 9.5 minute song from 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence, CD number one, Misunderstood. And that
Yeah, I remember that
chorus,
one.
it starts out with this slow build, and I love John Mayung's underpinning bass playing throughout the first 3.5 minutes. And it's this mellow build until the whole band kicks in, and then Petrucci and Portnoy take the reins of the song. And just that chorus, it just boom, when they hit that chorus, it just leaps up, and Labrie goes through the stratosphere. I love his vocals. I think they're the star throughout the song. Petrucci has a unique sounding guitar solo. I think it's Petrucci on guitar because Jordan Rudess has such strange sounds to his keyboards. It could be him on keyboard. I'm not even sure, but I think I hear Petrucci doing a rhythm guitar underneath, slight lead guitar. So, or maybe that's Rudess. So, whoever does that cool sounding solo, it's really good in this song. And I love the way the chorus pops, as I said, and it just shoots up. And Labrie lets loose on that chorus, and I just love it. And the song like devolves at the end into this slightly cacophonous sound, but it's a bit of a mess, but it's a beautiful mess. And you hear Mayung's bass and Rudess on the keyboards, and Portnoy and Petrucci are carrying the rhythm, so it's sort of like flips. So I like that dichotomy there. And the lyrics in the song are by Petrucci, and the four musicians did the music. So Misunderstood is my number 10 choice. Moving on to my number 9 choice, I'm going to go back to this album, A Dramatic Turn of Events, the first
Nice.
album, the first album without Mike Portnoy. And I'm going to go to my favorite song from the album. And this is an epic song, 11 minutes long from 2011, lyrics by Petrucci. And the music is by Petrucci, Rudess, and Mayung. And it's called Bridges in the Sky. Hi, Garland, walking by. Garland, you're stealing the show. You're stealing our thunder from us.
Lay down. Get out of the way.
I love it. It's great.
Yeah, he's
So
in my
from the
mode.
bizarre opening with that weird throat singing, that's what it is. And it's probably from a sound effect library. I couldn't find the credit for it. And it eventually breaks into this huge metal stomp with excellent guitar work from Petrucci throughout the song. And Mangini has some awesome tom fills that like I said, he plays above his head during the chorus. And when he goes across the toms, it just adds so much energy, especially to the live version when you see them perform it live. And the chorus, I love the lift from the verse into the chorus. It just elevates the whole song. And Labrie is just soaring above the fray of the music. And this song is Nirvana to me. I just love this song. It's easily my favorite song from after Portnoy left the band, not including the new song, which I will be doing a show on, the new Dream Theater song with Portnoy back in the helm. It's called Night Terror. And the record comes out February 7th of 2025. And I will be doing a showcase on that song very, very soon on the channel. And I'm going to have other Dream Theater content coming up. So that is my number 9, Bridges in the Sky. Number 10 was Misunderstood. Jenny, would you like to reveal your number 8?
Sure, I have Lifting Shadows of a Dream because it's a sweet ballad and it's not like too sappy and which is good because some sap can be really, really sappy. And I'm I like that one a lot. It's one of the boyfriend's favorites, and he sends that to me sometimes. So I thought that was kind of cute. So,
That's a good choice. Again, it was on my larger list because my larger
That's
list has
great.
39 songs on it, and I had to chop it down to
Great.
12. So that's a good choice for number eight. What's your number seven?
I have, well, it's because it's the concept album, it's kind of weird to pick one song, but I have Through Her Eyes because I like how they have Teresa in the beginning because it's very, they've never done that before. And I haven't really seen that, having like a gospel singer just come on for like, you know, metal and stuff. And I just thought it was cool. And I like that song because of that.
That's a good choice. From Metropolis Part Two, Scenes from a Memory. I
Yes.
do not have that song, so nice. We have all different choices so far. Okay, moving on to my number eight. It is the title track from an EP from 1995. It's the epic song, 23 minutes long, A Change of Seasons, and lyrics by Mike Portnoy and the music by Dream Theater. It's a seven-part epic song, and I have written down, oddly enough, in my notes where all the cats shine, and there's a cat shining on your side of the screen right now.
Yeah.
Funny, I wrote where all the cats shine, even Derek Sherinian, who was in the band for about 5 years on keyboards. And this is the song that helped Dream Theater build their legend, this epic song. It was supposed to be on Images and Words, but the record company said, we're not going to have a 20-minute song on there. That's too much for your first album with us. So they released it. It wasn't on Images and Words in 92. It came out 3 years later in 95 on this EP. By the time this came out in 95 on the EP, A Change of Seasons, which also has live cover songs from a show they did in England at the famous Ronnie Scott's Club, they covered a lot of classic rock tunes. I'd seen the band perform this already in the New York area here in the tri-state area. And I was at some famous and infamous Dream Theater shows, and I'll be speaking about those on future episodes. I'm going to have a series called Concert Memories, and leading up to the release of the new Dream Theater album in 2025, I'm going to have different episodes focusing on all the cool live Dream Theater shows I've been to. So I will be bringing up A Change of Seasons and seeing it early before it was released to the general public. And I love James LaBrie's vocals in the mellow section from about the 7 to 10 minute mark when the song slows down. He has some great lead vocals there. Everyone shines on this song, A Change of Seasons. It's epic. It had to be on my list, 23 minutes long. I love it. You need time to listen to it, but if you don't know it, seek it out. It's absolutely worth hearing. Change of Seasons, my number eight. Moving on to number seven, I'm going to an album you just brought up. From 1999, Metropolis Part Two, Scenes from a Memory, 6.5 minutes long. Also a song featuring gospel singer Teresa Thomason is her name. And this is The Spirit Carries On. Easily my favorite song from this album, and there are a lot of great songs. And like you said, Jenny, it's almost impossible to pick a song from a concept album like this. But this one just stands out. It's so beautiful. It's very emotional. It has a gospel choir featuring Teresa Thomason that was conducted by Jordan Rudess, the keyboard player in Dream Theater. And Petrucci's solos, his guitar playing on this song, it's just marvelous. He tries to hold back, but he does a little of that fiery fretwork he does, but it just adds a lot to the tune. I just love this song. Lyrics by Petrucci, music by Dream Theater, and it's one of his best melodic solos in their whole catalog. So from Metropolis 2, The Spirit Carries On is my seven. Change of Seasons is my number eight. And we're going to move on to your number six.
Okay. I have Under a Glass Moon. I like the
Nice.
way he does the way the keyboards match with Labrie, and he does a lot of the highs, but not like the highs that, off the rafters. He actually, it's more controlled, and I like that because sometimes his voice can get a little intense sometimes, but I like that one a lot.
It's a good choice. Not on my list. And your number five?
I'm doing good at this, aren't I?
Yes.
Uh, I also have, I know everybody loves it, but I also have Pull Me Under as well. I enjoy it. It's just, I see, I don't know. I think it's cool. I like the way it sounds. I like the way they all match together, which I know everybody does that, but I know it's one of their like bigger popular songs, but I happen to like it.
It is their popular song. In fact, on their greatest hits album, it was called One Big Hit and 23 Other Good Songs or something to that effect. So Portnoy
Right.
who put that together. He was in on the joke that that's their big song and that's their gold album. Is Images and Words from 92. That's their biggest selling album in the States here. So it's a great choice. Their biggest, most well-known song. They also had the video for it that was shown on Headbangers Ball back in the day. You remember watching that.
Yes.
So that is a good choice.
I wasn't allowed to watch it because I was too young.
Well, I'm a tad older, so I definitely saw it.
Sorry,
Okay,
I had to kind of throw that in there.
that's okay. Okay, my number six, I'm going to another epic song from 2009, the last song on Black Clouds and Silver Linings, The Count of Tuscany. All 19 minutes and 16 seconds of it. Lyrics by Petrucci, music by the four instrumentalists in the band. Another epic song which goes through so many musical styles and textures and motifs. It's impossible to ignore it in their whole catalog. To me, it features some of Petrucci's most melodic guitar playing and some sick, heavy riffing, too. And the last 8 minutes from the dreamy, mellow section to the beautiful fade out, they're just phenomenal. And this is a highlight in their catalog to me. And Labrie's vocals, especially at the ending, they just fly above everything. And I love this song, The Count of Tuscany. Epic tune. That's my number six. Moving on to my number five, a 6.5 minute song featuring their original singer from their first album, From When Dream and Day Unite from 1989, lyrics by Kevin Moore, the original amazing keyboard player, vocals by Charlie Dominici, and the music by Dream Theater. Only a Matter of Time, the last track from When Dream and Day Unite. It's their best song on their debut album. Dominici's spitting out Moore's intense lyrics, and the bands are all racing to the finish line. And I know they're sort of playing over each other a little. It's the way the record was recorded. They didn't have a big budget, so it's sort of like they're almost overplaying. But to me, this song is undeniable, and I love it because they show their musical chops. And Kevin Moore's lyrics start with the quite prophetic couplet here, and I'm going to quote it. A suited man smiled, said, "It's just a matter of time. You can have the world at your feet by tomorrow. Just sign on this line." You're signing your soul to a record company, and then they sort of own you. And MCA, their record label at the time, which we used to joke in the music biz, stands for Music Cemetery of America or Musical Cemetery of America. They
I
dropped
like
the ball with
this.
Dream Theater. They had some popular, some commercial, catchy songs from this album that they didn't promote, they didn't push enough. And they dropped the band because Bang Tango, who was more of a hair metal band that was on Mechanics through the MCA label, started getting airplay and traction, and their record went to number 58. And Dream Theater's first album never charted. It's their only studio album never to chart here in America. And I blame the record company. And I go into details about this on a show I just did with my friend from Australia, Peter Kerr. He has a channel on YouTube called Rock Daydream Nation. And I do a whole spiel about how this record failed and how it was the label's fault. And we bring up other bands where the record label, MCA, the Music Cemetery of America, during the 80s failed them. So this album should have charted. They should have had a couple of hits, at least on rock radio, not top 40 singles or anything, but they didn't. So check out that show on Rock Daydream Nation. It's about MCA, and you'll see the cover of When Dream and Day Unite in the corner of Peter's thumbnail sketch for the show. I love Kevin Moore's keyboard playing throughout this song. I think it's outstanding. And this song also gives us the title track to the album in the lyrics, When Dream and Day Unite. So that's my number five, Only a Matter of Time. My number six, The Count of Tuscany. So Jenny, what are your number four and number three choices?
For number four, I have Panic Attack. I really like the bass line in the beginning. I don't see that in a lot of other songs other than my Queensryche, but that caught my attention right away because of that. And that kept me listening to the entire song.
Really good choice. Heavy song, too. Song smokes. And what about your number three?
I have I have Another Day. It's another one. I like the way it starts with the piano. It's really cool, very quiet and chill, and it's just a very pretty song.
It is.
I like
And
the
that
way
song,
everything fits.
that song was on my larger list and didn't make the cut, unfortunately. So far we have no crossover. This is great. Another Day is a beautiful song, and it was a single from Images and Words. Unfortunately, the record label just should have pushed it more because that really should have been a crossover hit because it's catchy and it's pretty, just like Jenny said. So I agree with you. Good choice. Good choices all around. Okay, my number four is another epic. It's the longest song on this record. This album's a little bit maligned from 1997. Falling into Infinity is the record. The song is the last song, the 13-minute monster, Trial of Tears, with lyrics by bassist,
Ooh.
who Jenny just mentioned, John Mayung. Wrote the lyrics to the song. The music is by the band. Derek Sherinian's keyboard solo on this song. I must single that out because I have that written on the side of my notes. So I did want to say that before I start talking about the whole song. This is a three-part epic song, longest track on the record. The intro is slightly reminiscent of the great Rush masterpiece Xanadu, and I think they did it in tribute to Rush. It's a little bit of an homage, we can say. And then the song like swells up and comes in through the miasma and it becomes a Dream Theater song. I love Mayung's growling bass on this song. He has a really good bass groove and you could hear it. And Portnoy's drumming propels the track along. Petrucci unfurls another outstanding guitar solo here. And Labríe's vocals shine on section 3, the end of the song, The Wasteland. And I used to be in a Ramones tribute band. I was the singer playing the part of Joey Ramone. You saw us a few times, right?
Yeah, you were in a few different
Yeah,
ones.
exactly. And I had a vocal coach named Dana. Do you remember Tom Cavanaugh? You know Tom
Yeah.
Cavanaugh? He played
Yes, I
in the
know.
Queen tribute band, Almost Queen, for a while. He's played with
Mhm.
Lita Ford. His girlfriend, Dana, very cool chick. She was my vocal coach for a bunch of years. And I brought this song to her, and I said, how do I do this octave jump, this change at the end of the song? And she said, David, you have a good voice, but you only have like a 2 3/4 octave range. To do that, it's going to take a few years for you to stretch your vocal range and be able to do the jump that the singer, who is James Labrie, does on this song. So I love his vocals at the end of the song, and I'm not even going to try to emulate them. I'm not even going to try to attempt that and embarrass myself. But the way the song ends is great, and Labrie shines again. And I'm actually surprised that I'm making so many notes and talking about Labrie's vocal prowess. He is a great singer, and I know a lot of people have issues with him. He's a little older than I am. Sometimes he can't cut it live because he's doing songs that he did 30 years ago on record, doing them live and just playing almost every night on a tour. It just takes a lot out of you. Whenever I had to play 2 shows in a row, my voice was very gruff after it. So I know how he feels, and it's hard doing a tour. And I just played local shows. So I want to give kudos to James Labrie for still bringing it and attempting to do it so well after 30 years in the band, more than 30 years now. So my number four, Trial of Tears. My number three is the longest song here, and it's their most epic song from 2005, from an album Jenny just brought up when she mentioned Panic Attack. This is from Octavarium, and this is the title track of their 8th studio album, Octavarium, 24 minutes long. Rudess's keyboard solo at the 12-minute mark. It's amazing. Reminds me of Rick Wakeman from Yes, maybe even Keith Emerson from ELP. He has this real proggy keyboard solo at the 12-minute mark, halfway through the song. Amazing. If you love prog, you got to hear it. This is the epic to end all epics. It's a 5-part suite utilizing many musical motifs. It also references a lot of classic rock, metal, and prog songs throughout, both musically and lyrically. And I would say most notably Pink Floyd. And the whole long intro to the song, it's actually Jordan Rudess on the lap steel guitar. And it sounds just like the beginning of the Floyd epic Shine On You Crazy Diamond. And I just love this song, the whole extended intro. And this song basically warrants its own episode. because it's so epic. So I'm not even going to go into any more details about it. But if you don't know it, you got to go along for the ride because it's a stunning piece of work and it's worth your time. So that's my number three, Octavarium. And I saw it performed live, even better live, probably. And my number four was Trial of Tears. So we're moving on to our top two tunes here in our top 12 tunes by Dream Theater. Jenny, your number two.
Okay, so I have One Last Time back on Scenes from Memory because it sounds all not like it's not gonna get all rock and metal. It's very relaxed and then boom, high. And I think that can throw people off, and I like that because people won't expect that out of it. It's like, oh, okay, but it goes right in sequence, but that one's cool. It catches my attention.
It's a good choice. Good deep track, too. Not many people talk about One Last Time, but it's got some nice keyboard work from Jordan Rudess. So I'm with you on that one. And the big one, your number one. Are you ready? Drum roll, please, Mr. Portnoy. Oh, wait, he's not here. Darn.
You're actually I actually, because it's me, you brought up the tour with Queensryche and Dream Theater. You brought that tour up. I didn't see them do this, but they did Comfortably Numb, and it was all 10 people on stage just to make this one song, and it took everything out of me. I thought that was just the coolest thing I've ever seen.
I forgot about that. It's been a while since that tour happened.
Yeah.
About 20 years or so. So
yeah. Took 10 people just to embody Pink Floyd. It was crazy.
Well, when Pink Floyd toured in the 90s, they had about 12 people on stage, including the three female backing singers. There were about close to a dozen people.
Yeah.
So sometimes to replicate that, the sound that Floyd had on record, you need more than just four guys to do it.
Yes. And the way Jeff and Labrie harmonize is just fantastic. Two very strong individuals. So it's like, uh-oh, who's going to try to outsing the other? Because, dueling, but they did it absolutely flawlessly.
You got me with another left field choice. Good pick. Very interesting. Okay, so my top two songs by Dream Theater, I'm going back to their first album on Atco Atlantic through Warner Brothers, 1992. It came out on 7/7, July 7th, 1992. The last track, 11 and a half minutes long, Learning to Live. Lyrics by Mr. John Young. Music by Dream Theater. The last tune on Images and Words, and it's a total corker. It's an amazing song. It's a moody beast of a song. It's very complex, has great musical interplay. And the thing I liked about the first three Dream Theater studio records, and you mentioned this before, Jenny, is how Kevin Moore on keyboards and John Petrucci on guitar, they interacted with each other a lot. And once Kevin Moore left the band, the band lost a little something there when they didn't have that great interplay anymore. Kevin Moore is probably my favorite keyboard player from Dream Theater, but I'd have to think about that and do a show on that in the future. But this song is great. The band are on fire, like they're playing for their lives here. And to me, this is the best album closer, including my last four choices. They were all album closers. So these five tracks, my 2 through 6, are my favorite album closers by the band. Learning to Live is an amazing song. And the way Labrie sings that ending and that harmonizing he does, the whoa, whoa, whoas, and he just keeps going. Wow. That's before he messed up his voice a little when he had food poisoning a couple of years later. But that is just epic. Love that song.
He wasn't going to be able to sing for a while, right? I remember when that happened.
He had some issues for like a decade after that, after the food poisoning. I think it was maybe in Japan in 94 or something. But at any rate, or maybe it was on the Images and Words tour, who remembers? My number one song has always been my favorite number one song by Dream Theater for about 3 decades, from 1994, from the Awake album, their third album. This is part of a musical trilogy on the album. And the musical trilogy that encompasses the 3 songs, I'm mentioning the middle part, is called A Mind Beside Itself. And the song is Voices, my favorite Dream Theater song.
That
From
was
the
that
Wake.
was in my list too. That was in one of my lists.
And it's a 10-minute song. The lyrics that Petrucci wrote here deal with mental illness. And to me, this is the best song in their catalog. And when I was singing in the Ramones tribute bands, this is the song I used to rehearse with. And as I drove to all the shows, I used to sing along to the song in the car. Not nearly as well as Mr. Labrie, of course, because he's got that voice that goes much higher than mine. But I did my best, and this is how I would rehearse and open up my voice. And I love this song musically, lyrically. This is their top tune, and everyone shines on this song. And it's been my number one for a long time. So my number one is Voices. My number two is Learning to Live from the early period of Dream Theater with Kevin Moore on keyboards. Gosh darn it.
Yep, those were in my list too.
Nice.
Didn't make
Hey,
the cut, but they were in my list.
we got a few minutes. Do you want to name some honorable mentions? Maybe three other songs you haven't mentioned?
No, I do not.
You do not? Okay.
I have to relook, but no, I do not.
I have some honorable mentions that I'm going to mention here at the end of the show before we sign off. And Jenny has some important news to impart. My number 15, if we're adding my three honorable mentions, is a B-side of a single and not on any Dream Theater record. In Europe, from the Awake album, they released the song Lie, which was the first emphasis track around the world. And this song was the B-side, and it is called To Live Forever.
Oh, yeah.
And it is a great melodic song, and it's very different because it doesn't take its influence from prog or metal. It's from a different side of Dream Theater. It is from their U2 side. And this is very melodic, catchy song. And it's a bit of a haunting ballad type song. Got some nice guitar work from John Petrucci in it. And you should search it out on YouTube. The song To Live Forever, a great melodic song. And I did see them play it live, which I will be talking about in my upcoming Dream Theater Concert Memories series that I will be debuting later this year. Number 14, song that was released as a single, or at least a promo to rock radio in America from 2013, another Mike Mangini album on the drums, just under 5 minutes. I think it's the shortest song on my list. It's called Along for the Ride. Such a great, catchy rock song. Beautiful, melodic, shows off Labrie's voice again. Of course, Petrucci's guitar playing on it. Rudess with some catchy synth work. And they named their tour for the self-titled album that I saw. After the song, it was the Along for the Ride tour. So I think it's a very beautiful, slightly majestic song. Along for the Ride would be my number 14. And my number 13, to get serious for a moment, this song was written, the lyrics by Mike Portnoy, about his father passing away. It's from Black Clouds and Silver Linings from 2009. 13-minute song called The Best of Times. And we have Jerry Goodman on violin. And the way the song opens and that haunting violin that might remind you a little of Kansas. Jerry Goodman played with the Dixie Dregs with Steve Morse, and he's a well-known musician. And he just adds such gravitas to the song. It's already such a serious song, even though after the mellow intro, it sort of builds into this happier song. And then Petrucci has this emotional guitar solo that just may be his best in the whole Dream Theater canon. It's just this beautiful solo. And it's a very touching song. I'm going to try to hold it together, but I lost my dad last year, and it's very hard to listen to the song. It's a very emotional song. And it's a really good song. And I really wanted to fit it into my top 12, but it's just a tough listen. So number 13, the oddball song out, is The Best of Times. So check it out if you don't know it, from Black Clouds and Silver Linings. Amazing song, all 13 minutes of it. And the playing is just so emotional. So Jenny, I want to thank you for coming on.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Excellent. Thanks. And before Jenny mentions something, she will be back on the channel in the future, either late this year or early next year. I'm going to have her back on with Katinka. We're going to make up for the natural disaster that happened down south, unfortunately, and both ladies will be on in the near future. And Jenny, you wanted to mention something to everyone out there in YouTube land.
Well, Tinka has power now and she's back in the house. So
Right as
that
we're
is
finishing.
extremely exciting. I'm very happy for her. I got
Yes,
that
me too.
notification.
That's great news. She said she might get it back on Tuesday, so it's back on.
Yes,
Whew.
lucky her. Lucky her.
Yep. So
So
you
there we
wanted to
have.
mention your boyfriend's band at the end of the show, right?
Yeah, he's in a bunch of cover bands right now, but this specific one, it's called the Haunted Havoc. It's at Katie's, which is in Smithtown by me, Long Island. And his band is the Witches Dance. It's Merciful Fate and King Diamond, and that's crazy fun and powerful. And it's sung by a chick, and you would
Oh, wow.
not believe this chick's voice. It's like, really? And we have a cat butt involved too.
Right.
I'm in it. He has one on November 10th. It's at Stereo Garden, which is in Patchogue.
Nice.
And it's actually, I don't remember which band he is, but at one of his band members is in Project Mindcrime, which is the third Queensryche Long Island tribute band. So I'm excited and nervous about this. I'm very fussy. So, and what do you say? And what does Garland say?
Will the cat meow? Will Garland meow?
Probably not. He's purring in my lap, so
Okay.
he's in his favorite spot.
He's happy. Okay, great. And now he's moving. So check out it's Witch's Dance, right?
Yes.
So if you like King Diamond, Merciful Fate, check out Jenny's boyfriend's band, Witch's Dance. They're playing the Suffolk County, Long Island area. If you're in New York, if you want to check them out, you could drive, you could take the train. It's right by the railroad, that November gig. So check them out. And Jenny will be back on the channel. And I just want to remind everyone to rock out, frog on, and pogo. I want you to like, subscribe, and comment. Tell us your favorite Dream Theater songs in the comments below. You could do that. And also, I have a lot of appearances on other channels on YouTube. I have close to 50 appearances on other channels where I talk about all different kinds of music, rock, prog, classic rock, more mellow stuff, metal. So you can see me on other YouTube channels. Check out my playlist below on my channel here. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I will have more Dream Theater content. Jenny will be back. And that's about it. So thanks again. Have a good
I
night,
actually
everyone.
I have
Oh,
a funny anecdote.
okay.
Speaking of cats, one of the times I saw Dream Theater at the Paramount when they did the meet and greets downstairs. Matt and Jimmy apparently is allergic to cats because I went to hug him and he's like, wait, do you have a cat? I was like, I have a few. He goes, okay, and just like does like the side hug. He's like, I'm super allergic. I'm like, no. So weird old little side note.
Just like me, allergic to cats and dogs, unfortunately, much to my chagrin. Okay, we'll see everyone in the near future. Thank you for joining us. Take care. Have a good night.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Thank you, Tia.
Bye bye.